I started doing it when I was 15 and overdosed when I was 15.
I was addicted from day one. Like, that is my story. Like, it hit.
It's just taken my life and I haven't even touched it, it feels like.
It's taking my leg. It's ruining my family.
He fought really hard, but this addiction is just bigger than anybody.
I remember moving 4 times in one school semester. And when you're the new kid at every school, you're always trying to fit in. You don't have those friends there.
He was student of the year, he had lots of friends, but he was so depressed and he never felt that he fit in.
And it's a common denominator with other people in recovery, other friends of mine, is that not feeling a part of.
It was what I used to, as you say, fill the void, but just to fight my depression. I've been depressed pretty much as long as I can remember.
The minute I tried it, I felt like, oh, this is what I've been missing, you know?
It's like getting in that hot bathtub and you sink down in it. You just kind of like,
I don't know what it's like to be high, but I do know what it's like to be sober and be with your family, and to me that's worth more than any drug.
Here's some signs that you want to look for. Like, if your kid was involved in sports and they're no longer, they don't care about sports and they're hanging out with a new group of friends, right? Like, you need to explore why. If they're withdrawn.
When you're in your addiction, you don't want accountability. I mean, it's just, you already don't like yourself. You're already trying to run away from the guilt and the shame. You know, why would you surround yourself with other people that are gonna, you know, make you hate yourself more?
If they're wearing long sleeves in the summertime, if the Xbox and the TV and the cell phone's coming up missing, right? Like, these are all very important red flags.
He lied, he was stealing from us. I literally had a $100 bill in my wallet and he stole it right in front of me and I never saw him do that.
The teenager can go on the dark net and they can order heroin online and it'll be delivered to your mailbox. And it'll say on the outside of the box, Xbox controller, right? Like, it'll be disguised, but what's really in there is heroin.
If you're feeling kind of unsure, you probably are. Unfortunately, you can't believe them, so don't ask them, are you shooting anything? Because they'll tell you no.
Parents need to start drug testing their kids. They need to. Stop being afraid of doing that.
In the second story of a vacant house. It was noon on a Saturday, and the ambulance didn't get there until 8 o'clock Sunday night. I had a feeding tube, I had multiple organ failure. My leg was like black from like here down. Toes were black. It hurt. Like, I can't describe the pain. It's like the worst pain. It was worse. It was worse then than it was after it was amputated. Couldn't touch it, couldn't move. It was crazy.
The first thing I wrote was, did I die? And they all started crying. They're like, yeah, Skye, you overdosed on heroin, which I just kind of figured because that was the last thing I remembered.
I looked in the back of the ambulance and there was a stretcher and a bag over it, and the paramedics were about to leave. And I just begged him, I was like, you saved my sister, why can't you do this for me?
The kids' mom and dad were home. They went downstairs and they shot up together. And then they tried to wake up Kevin, and he didn't wake up. They took him out in a body bag.
To see a drug like heroin, just a little substance take over the life of someone who's so pure, and that's not how he should have left this earth. And it just makes me so upset to think about that's his story.
He was not your basic addict. Like, if you couldn't tell, like, you wouldn't even be able to tell by the way he acts or talks. Like, he got up and went to work. He didn't steal. He was just such a good person.
The addiction itself and the people that don't get it. I'm sad that family members think it was a choice. They think Kevin was bad. They think he was stupid. And he wasn't. He was a good kid. He just made a couple bad choices. He just wanted to feel normal.
I always tell parents you can believe two things from your child that's in active addiction. One is that they love you, and two is ultimately they don't want to live like that.
You can't be happy living that lifestyle. It's miserable. How could you? How could you spend your entire life thinking about a substance that you're trying to use to make yourself happy or fill a void that never does and leaves you emptier inside than you were from the beginning?
If you feel like you want to die, if you feel like you want to try a certain drug, tell someone. You gotta talk to people because there's reasons you feel like doing stuff like that.
You can't take everything away from them, and you can't make them stop doing something, but you can tell them that you will love them unconditionally.
I mean, I'm sad enough. I think that guilt will kill you. And I always think when I go to heaven, I don't want to be angry and I don't want to have guilt when I see my son. So I've forgiven myself.
I mean, life's beautiful. It's just, you have to make it that way. You can't just expect everything to change for you. You gotta do it yourself. You know, you gotta be the change you want to see in the world.